ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
सबसे पहले मैं परम पूज्य जगत गुरु श्री शिवरात्रि देसी केंद्र के
ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
सबसे पहले मैं परम पूज्य जगत गुरु श्री शिवरात्रि देसी केंद्र के श्री चरणों में प्रणाम कर मेरी बात की शुरुआत।
ಮೊಟ್ಟ ಮೊದಲು ಜಗದ್ಗುರು ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳನ್ನು ವಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿ ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ।
मित्रों, आज मेरे साथ इस मंच पर मोदी जी की मंत्रिपरिषद में मेरे साथी श्रीमान प्रहलाद जोशी, हमारे भूतपूर्व मुख्यमंत्री और मेरे मित्र श्रीमान बसवराज बोम्बई जी, हमारे प्रदेश भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अध्यक्ष युवा नेता श्री विजेंद्र येदुरप्पा जी, कर्नाटक असेंबली में हमारे प्रतिपक्ष के नेता और भाजपा के वरिष्ठ नेता श्री आर अशोक जी, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर जिनका बड़ा योगदान रहा ऐसे श्री सीटी रवि जी, यहाँ के लोकप्रिय सांसद भाई प्रताप सिन्हा जी, और जिनका पूरे कर्नाटक के शिक्षा क्षेत्र में बहुत बड़ा योगदान है, हमारे पूर्व सांसद श्रीमान प्रभाकर कोरे जी, और आज इस पवित्र अवसर पर आए हुए सभी भाइयों और बहनों को मैं प्रणाम कर मेरी बात की शुरुआत। सबसे पहले श्री सुट्टूर मठ के 24 मठाधीश जो अब तक हुए हैं, वो सभी के देश, समाज और लिंगायत परंपरा के लिए जो योगदान रहा है, उसके लिए मैं उनको याद करना चाहता हूं। मित्रों, आज जब मैं कर्नाटक की पवित्र भूमि पर हूं, तब जगत ज्योति बसवन्ना को भी मन से प्रणाम कर मेरी बात की शुरुआत करना चाहता हूं। बसवन्ना ने न केवल अपने अनुयायियों के लिए अपने वचनों से देश भर के करोड़ों जीवों को मोक्ष का रास्ता बताया है, करोड़ों जीवों को सद रास्ते पर जाने की प्रेरणा दी है, और अनेक जीवों की शांति का मार्ग बसवन्ना ने अपने वचनों में सिद्ध किया है, प्रशस्त किया है।
ಇವತ್ತು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿದ್ದಾರಂತ ಮಾನ್ಯ ಅಮಿತ್ ಶಾ ಅವರು ಹೆಸರುಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಅದನ್ನ ಪುನರಾವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ। ಮೊದಲು ನನ್ನ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಆರಂಭದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮೊದಲು 24 ಮಠಾಧೀಶರು ಈ ಮಠಕ್ಕೇನೋ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳಾಗಿ, ಪೀಠಾಧಿಪತಿಗಳಾಗಿ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ನಾನು ನೆನೆಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ। ಇದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಈ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಮಣ್ಣಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಂತು, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಈ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಂತು ನಾನು ಬಸವಣ್ಣನವರನ್ನು ನೆನೆಸ್ತೇನೆ। ಬಸವಣ್ಣನವರು ಕೇವಲ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಗಕ್ಕಲ್ಲ, ದೇಶದ ಜಗತ್ತಿನ ಕೋಟಿ ಕೋಟಿ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೇರಣೆಯನ್ನ, ಭಕ್ತಿಯ ಭಾವನೆಯನ್ನ ತುಂಬಿದಂತಹ ಒಬ್ಬ ಮಹಾಪುರುಷರು। ಅವರನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಈ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನೆನೆಸಿಕೊಳ್ತೇನೆ।
मित्रों, सुट्टूर मठ निस्वार्थ सेवा, कर्म ही पूजा और परोपकार, ये तीनों सूत्रों का केंद्र रहा है। पहले मठाधीश जगत गुरु श्री शिवरात्रीश्वर शिव योगी महास्वामी से लेकर अभी के पीठाधीश जगत गुरु श्री शिवरात्रि देसी केंद्र महास्वामी तक 24 पीठाधीशों ने इस सेवा की परंपरा, इस सेवा के यज्ञ को अखंड रूप से, अविरत रूप से चालू रखा है, जिससे जगत भर के अंदर लाखों अनुयायी इस मठ से निकले हुए, कई बच्चे यहाँ से बहुत बड़े व्यक्ति बनकर निकले, सबके जीवन में प्रकाश भरने का काम सुत्तूर मठ ने किया है। आज इस यात्रा महोत्सव पर सुत्तूर मठ के इस योगदान को भारतीय जनता पार्टी की ओर से न केवल मैं एक्नॉलेज करना चाहता हूं, इसको प्रणाम कर कर अपने श्रद्धा भी व्यक्त करना चाहता हूं।
ಸುತ್ತೂರು ಮಠದ 24 ಮಠಾಧೀಶರು ಶಿವರಾತ್ರಿ ದೇಶಕೇಂದ್ರದಿಂದ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಮಠಾಧೀಶರವರೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ನಿಸ್ವಾರ್ಥವಾದಂತಹ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಲಕ್ಷಾಂತರ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳಕನ್ನ ಚೆಲ್ಲುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ಅವರ ಈ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ, ಅವರ ಈ ಕೊಡುಗೆಯನ್ನ ಸದಾ ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನ ಗುರುತಿಸ್ತೇವೆ ಮತ್ತು ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ವಂದಿಸ್ತೇವೆ.
मैं जब दिल्ली से, आज मेरा कार्यक्रम अहमदाबाद में था, मुझे कल यहाँ आना था, प्रहलाद भाई ने पार्लियामेंट एक दिन एक्सटेंड कर दी, मैं कल आ नहीं पाया, तो आज अहमदाबाद का कार्यक्रम कैंसिल कर यहाँ आया। हमारे अहमदाबाद के पत्रकारों ने पूछा क्यों जा रहे हो सित्तूर, तो मैंने उनको नहीं बताया कि मैं इतने बड़े भवन के लोकार्पण से लिए जा रहा हूं। मैंने उनको बताया कि जगत गुरु श्री शिवरात्रि देसी केंद्र के आशीर्वाद प्राप्त करने के लिए
ನಾನು ನಿನ್ನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದಿತ್ತು, ಇವತ್ತು ಅಹಮದಾಬಾದ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಿತ್ತು. ನಾನು ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಮಂತ್ರಿ ಪ್ರಹ್ಲಾದ್ ಜೋಶಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಪಾರ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿಂದ, ಮುಂದುವರಿಸಿದ್ರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ನಿನ್ನೆ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಅಹಮದಾಬಾದಕ್ಕೆ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು, ಯಾಕ ಅಹಮದಾಬಾದನ್ನ ನೀವು ರದ್ದು ಮಾಡಿ ಮೈಸೂರಿಗೆ ದೇಶಕೇಂದ್ರ ಶಿವರಾತ್ರಿ ದೇಶಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೆ, ಸುತ್ತೂರು ಮಠಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದಾಗ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾದಂತಹ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನು ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, ಆದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರ, ಸುತ್ತೂರು ಮಠದ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರ ದರ್ಶನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಮಾತನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
मित्रों, 6 तारीख से 11 फरवरी तक, 6 से 11 फरवरी तक यहाँ जो यात्रा महोत्सव आपने आयोजित किया, मठ के संस्थापक की जन्मदिन को याद कर पुष्य बहुला द्वादशी से माघ सुद बिड़गे तक ये जो महोत्सव मना जाता है, एक प्रकार में हमारी सांस्कृतिक धरोहर को पुनर्जीवित रखने का भी काम करता है। यहाँ रथोत्सव होता है, तपोत्सव होता है, कोंडात्सव होता है, विशेष पूजा होती है, सामूहिक विवाह होता है, कृषि मेला होता है, कुश्ती भी होती है और पारंपरिक खेल भी होते हैं। एक प्रकार से समाज जीवन के सभी अंगों को यहाँ समाहित कर उत्सव मनाया जाता है।
ಈ ಒಂದು 6ನೇ ತಾರೀಕಿನಿಂದ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 6ನೇ ತಾರೀಕಿನಿಂದ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ 11 ಇವತ್ತಿನವರೆಗೆ ಏನು ಜಾತ್ರಾ ಮಹೋತ್ಸವ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮಠದ ಸಂಸ್ಥಾಪಕರನ್ನ ಸ್ಮರಿಸ್ತಾ ಹಲವು ರೀತಿಯ ತಪೋತ್ಸವ, ರಥೋತ್ಸವ, ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ, ಆಹಾರೋತ್ಸವ ಮತ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಸ್ತಿ, ಈ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಹಲವು ಚಟುವಟಿಕೆಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ರೈತರಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಕೃಷಿ ಉತ್ಸವ ಕೂಡ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ಒಟ್ಟು ಸಮಾಜವನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಂತೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಗಗಳನ್ನು, ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತಹ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆದು ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಸೇವೆಯನ್ನ ಇದರ ಮೂಲಕ ಸಲ್ಲಿಸಲಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
परम पूज्य जगत गुरु श्री शिवरात्रि देसी केंद्र ने अपनी ये परंपरा को आगे ले जाते हुए कई सारे काम किए। लगभग इस मठ के अधीन 350 एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट है। 20,000 से ज्यादा इसका स्टाफ है और 1 लाख से ज्यादा विद्यार्थी आज यहाँ पर पढ़ रहे हैं। मगर मैं सुत्तूर स्वामी को इस सबसे ज्यादा बधाई देना चाहता हूं कि इस मठ ने दिव्यांगों के लिए एक पॉलिटेक्निक इंस्टीट्यूट स्थापना करने का काम किया। दिव्यांगों की पॉलिटेक्निक इंस्टीट्यूट अपने आप में पूरे देश भर एक विशेष स्थान रखती है, जहां 900 से ज्यादा अलग अलग प्रकार से दिव्यांग बच्चे आज पढ़ रहे हैं।
ಇವತ್ತು ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಹಲವಾರು ರೀತಿಯ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 350ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಿದ್ದಾವೆ. 20,000ಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಸ್ಟಾಫ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. 1 ಲಕ್ಷಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಓದ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೊರತುಪಡಿಸಿ, ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಕಾರ್ಯನೇ, ಇದರೆಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಹೊರತುಪಡಿಸಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ದಿವ್ಯಾಂಗರಿಗಾಗಿ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ತಿಳಿಯುವ ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳುವುದಾದ್ರೆ ಅಂಗವಿಕಲಿಗರಿಗಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಪಾಲಿಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದು ನನಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಇಡೀ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಆದರ್ಶವಾದಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸ. ಇಡೀ ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಬಂದು ಆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿತು ಅದರ ಉಪಯೋಗವನ್ನು ಪಡಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆ ಪುಣ್ಯದ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
अभी अभी हम सब ने अयोध्या में भगवान श्री राम की मूर्ति की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा देखी। अरुण योगी राज का यहाँ सम्मान भी किया। सुत्तूर मठ ने भी अयोध्या में अपना काम शुरू करने का, अपनी शाखा खोलने का निर्णय किया है। इसलिए मैं सुत्तूर स्वामी को बहुत बहुत बधाई दूंगा।
ಈಗೀಗ ಅಯೋಧ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಮ ಮಂದಿರದ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠಾಪನೆ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈ ಒಂದು ಮೂರ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಿದಂತಹ ಅರುಣ್ ಯೋಗಿರಾಜ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಇದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸುತ್ತೂರು ಮಠದ ಶಾಖಾ ಮಠವನ್ನು ಸಹಿತ ಅಯೋಧ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರ್ಮಾಣ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ, ಅಯೋಧ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೆಗೆಯುವಂತಹ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನವನ್ನ ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದವನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ.
मित्रों, नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने हमारे देश की सांस्कृतिक विरासत को विश्व के पटल पर गौरवान्वित करने का काम किया है।
ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದ ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಪರಂಪರೆಯನ್ನ ಪುನಃಸ್ಥಾಪನೆ ಮಾಡುವುದು, ವಿಶ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದರ ಪ್ರತಿಷ್ಠೆಯನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡುವಂತಹ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
अयोध्या में राम मंदिर, काशी में काशी विश्वनाथ कॉरिडोर, महाकाल कॉरिडोर, बाबा केदारनाथ और बद्रीधाम की नगरी का पुनरुत्थान, ढेर सारे हमारे सांस्कृतिक चेतना केंद्र को मोदी जी ने पुनर्जीवित करने का काम किया।
ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿತಾ ಅಯೋಧ್ಯೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಮ ಮಂದಿರ, ಕಾಶಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಶಿ ಕಾರಿಡಾರು, ಉಜ್ಜಯಿನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಹಾಕಾಲ ಕಾರಿಡಾರು, ಬದ್ರಿನಾಥ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ, ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಒಂದು ಸಾಂಸ್ಕೃತಿಕ ಪುನರುತ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿನ ಪುನರುತ್ಥಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹಳ ದೊಡ್ಡದಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಕೊಡುಗೆಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
मित्रों, मोदी जी ने देश को सुरक्षित और समृद्ध बनाने के साथ साथ हमारे योग, आयुर्वेद और हमारी भाषाओं के संरक्षण के लिए भी ढेर सारा काम किया है।
ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿ ಅವರು ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತಿ, ಅದರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಸುರಕ್ಷತೆ, ಸಮೃದ್ಧತೆ, ಯೋಗ, ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ, ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
मित्रों, अंत में मैं महास्वामी जी को इतना ही कहना चाहता हूं, मैं स्वयं और भारतीय जनता पार्टी का हर कार्यकर्ता सुत्तूर मठ के सामाजिक योगदान को हमेशा सम्मान से देखता है, भक्ति से देखता है और आने वाले दिनों में आपके इस कार्यक्रम को, आपके इस योगदान को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी हर हमेश आपका समर्थन कर जनता के बीच में जाएगी। इतनी बात कर मेरी बात को समाप्त करता हूं। भारत माता की जय।
ನಾನು ಅಂತಿಮವಾಗಿ ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಸುತ್ತೂರು ಮಠದ ಏನು ಸೇವಾ ಕಾರ್ಯ ಇದೆ, ಸುತ್ತೂರು ಮಠದ ಏನು ಕೊಡುಗೆ ಇದೆ, ಈ ಕೊಡುಗೆಯನ್ನ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ನಾನು ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬ ಕಾರ್ಯಕರ್ತನು ಸದಾಕಾಲಕ್ಕೂ ಇದನ್ನು ಸ್ಮರಿಸ್ತೇವೆ. ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮರಣೆಯನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಭಾರತೀಯ ಜನತಾ ಪಾರ್ಟಿ ನಾವು ಜನರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೇವೆ. ಈ ಕೊಡುಗೆಗಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಮಠವನ್ನ ಮತ್ತು ಪೂಜ್ಯ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವರನ್ನ ಕೊಂಡಾಡ್ತೇನೆ.
ಕಟ್ಟಡವನ್ನು ಉದ್ಘಾಟನೆ
Cashback, coupons, discounts, low rates only on Agoda.
Tell me, what is it about Mr. Pandian that a 5-term chief minister trusts him so implicitly?
I also keep asking him this. I'm still waiting for an answer from him. As Honorable CM has always said that people of Odisha will decide who will succeed him. If you do good job, honest job, he will stand behind you. When the files were put up for giving Wheeler Islands to DRDO, the file had come to Biju Patnaik with every suggestion to reject it, why it should not be accepted. Mr. Abdul Kalam was the DRDO chief that time. Biju Babu had called him for a discussion. So he asked him only one question: will you promise me that if we give the land, you will make an intercontinental ballistic missile from here, which will hit the heart of China? Mr. Abdul Kalam promised that, sir, I will do it. Biju Babu signed the file, giving the land to them, free of cost. I never thought that I'll get into IAS. I was studying in a government school. I never thought I'll become close to a chief minister. I never thought I'll leave IAS and join politics. So there is some force which is pushing you, and I believe strongly that it is a divine force. 500 years nobody has done it, because of the risk, political risk involved in this project. Honorable CM had told at that time only that if you lose, it's okay. If I lose also, it's okay. I want this thing to be done. He believes in doing politics only during elections. He fought against the corruption of Congress in the state. So I don't see any scope for the chief minister to think about an alliance with Congress. 9 years back almost, there were these rumors, health rumors about the chief minister. Whenever any cabinet minister, union cabinet minister, the chief minister will meet, call on or some meeting mein, first they, how is your health, Naveen Babu? Oh, I'm fine. I don't have any problem. Then Jay told that your health is not good. It hit CM. There was articles, there were social media posts, everything about how bad the chief minister's health is and how he should find somebody to take over the party and the government. And that is when the chief minister decided it's high time that we move away from people whom we once trusted. I am not working as an officer there. I am working on the directions of the chief minister. In chief minister office, all departments are under the chief minister. Every cabinet note comes to the chief minister office for approval. He is the boss.
Oh,
I think,
goodness.
Yeah, good omen. I mean, for my first interview, perhaps.
Yeah, the lizard. I thought it's a bird, but I believe it's a...
I think it's a lizard.
So, good omen. So,
Yeah.
I'm going to get like 1 million hits for this interview, that means. Namaste, Jai Hind. Welcome to another edition of the ANI podcast with Smita Prakash. This episode is being filmed in Bhubaneswar, the capital of Odisha. My guest today is Mr. V.K. Pandian, a former bureaucrat and close confidant of the Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik. The very elusive V.K. Pandian has never given a television interview or podcast. In fact, he rarely speaks to the media. So this episode of the podcast is all the more special because many people say that Mr. Pandian is a political figure who's being groomed to take over the party reins once Mr. Naveen Patnaik, the current Chief Minister, retires from active politics. Mr. Pandian, thank you so much for being part of the podcast. I'm really looking forward to our conversation.
Same here. Jai Jagannath. Thank you.
Jai Jagannath.
Jai Jagannath.
So, I'm of course going to begin with who's this mystery man Mr. Pandian. Nobody knows in the country who's this person, because there's so much mystery around you, because you don't give television interviews, you don't give news interviews only, and everybody wants to know what it is about Mr. Pandian that people wonder that he keeps to himself, elusive person. So introduce yourself to the people of the country and to even Odiyas.
Perhaps I got inspired by Honorable CM.
Correct.
His style is that.
Yes.
And till the other day, I was in the Indian Administrative Service, where we have to be behind the screen always. You do work for the government, so you don't get a chance to come out in front.
But I've seen that, you take it to another level completely. Even when there's criticism about you, you are shy about it. You don't respond. You don't react. You just do your work. I've seen. So, is it because you were directed by Naveen Babu, or is it your natural self?
I think one gets inspired being with him for more than a decade. You are working so closely with him. You get to see how he reacts to situations, how he reacts to criticism. So you get inspired by him. Perhaps something of him has rubbed in me.
But he has a number of years of experience. You're a young bureaucrat, and you were posted in tough areas like in Kalahandi and all that. It was like phenomenal work that you did. So I'm sure as a young person you would have lost your temper at times, and you would have like, why are they writing this against me? What is this? You don't feel like responding ever?
I thought that the work should speak.
That's
like
nice.
how Sachin said that my bat should speak.
Okay.
So our work should speak more than.
So tell me, what is it about Mr. Pandian that a 5-term chief minister trusts him so implicitly?
I also keep asking him this. I'm still waiting for an answer from him.
Okay.
Perhaps we both share that commitment for people,
Okay.
something which I got inspired from him.
Right.
In fact, I got Punjab cadre initially in 2000. And in 1999, super cyclone had hit Odisha very badly. Odisha was in a very bad shape. So there was a dilemma which cadre I should move. So I decided to go to Odisha because Mr. Naveen Patnaik had taken over as Chief Minister of Odisha. And the director of our academy said that go to Odisha, you will get great chance to work. And there is an honest person who has become Chief Minister.
Okay.
So you will get great scope to work. So that's how I came to Odisha. And from that day, I got great deal of independence to work in whichever post I have been, whether it is sub-collector or additional district magistrate in Rourkela or as district magistrate in 2 districts, including his own district.
What was the first meeting that you had with Mr. Naveen Patnaik? Tell me about that.
I was sub-collector, a young sub-collector. He had come to inaugurate some projects in
Where was this?
in Kalahandi,
Kalahandi.
Dharamgad. So that was the day he was, it was 2003 or 3. So that was the time India Today had adjudged him as one of the top chief ministers of the country, first time. So he had come with that India Today and he was reading that magazine.
Okay.
So that is the first memory I have of our Honorable Chief Minister.
And what was your first impression when you met
He
him?
was unlike a political person. Whatever stereotype one has about a political leader, he was completely unlike. Very warm, very down to earth, very humble, and had an eye for good work. He had come and he immediately appreciated me for 2-3 things, which I thought was very nice of him to tell to such a junior officer.
What was the work?
He spoke about the paddy procurement which I was doing,
Okay.
which the administration was doing. Kalahandi used to be a food deficit district.
Yes.
Kalahandi was known for those.
I remember as a journalist, my generation of people would Koraput and Kalahandi would be the dark zones of the
Absolutely.
country, of famine, of food shortage, and
Or
always
starvation deaths
deaths.
and
Yes.
child sale and all those things used to happen.
Yeah.
So during our chief minister's time, the face of Kalahandi actually changed. He brought in irrigation in a large scale. So he transformed the gray areas of drought-prone areas into green areas. So we have food surplus in Kalayandi. When I was posted there in 2003-04, we have to sell a lot of paddy. That was a big challenge, and ensuring minimum support price for the farmers.
And from subsistence agriculture that was practiced out there.
Yes.
And bare subsistence, even if I
Absolutely.
might say that.
Absolutely.
You were selling it for rest of the state.
Absolutely. That's one of the biggest transformations the Chief Minister had done for Odisha. In 2000, we used to be a food deficit state. We used to depend on Punjab, Haryana, other states for our own food security. The public distribution system will wait for rail wagons to come from other states.
Okay.
So if the wagons are delayed, the food security and the public distribution system will get delayed. So the Chief Minister decided that Odisha has so much of water, so much of fertile land. So one of the biggest challenges he took was that he will transform the agriculture of Odisha.
Okay.
So he invested heavily in irrigation, he invested in agriculture practices, and in 7 years, 8 years, Odisha had become self-sufficient. In food grain production, it became self-sufficient.
Okay.
In 11 years, Odisha became food surplus. That is one of the biggest transformations we brought, and now we are the third largest contributor to the country's food security. So from a food insecure state, Odisha has become a food surplus state.
Contributing to
absolutely. The third biggest contributor.
Okay. So the steps that he took, were the people of Odisha completely on board? Was his political party completely on board when he was bringing these transformative changes?
I think people were very happy with whatever he was doing in every field. Whether it is disaster management, where he has set global benchmarks, or food security, or tribal empowerment, or education, every field. That is why perhaps he got pro-incumbency instead of anti-incumbency, which sets in, even after one term, anti-incumbency sets in. Yeah. He is now 5-term Chief Minister, and in every election, his margins go high, his vote percentage is going high. And perhaps he will repeat the same in 2024 as well. Okay.
So, sir, I wanted to ask you this. When Naveen Babu started his career in politics, everybody was like, oh, he's not a son of the soil. He's anglicized. He doesn't speak the language. So this kind of talk was done. But somehow, as you said, that there's no anti-incumbency with him. People of Odisha not just forgive him, not just accept him, they embrace him despite him not being one of the, like I said, son of the soil. So how does that work? How are people of Odisha not so parochial, should I say, or so language chauvinistic that they want somebody who speaks fluent, pure Odia?
I think language is to connect with people, the masses. He does it very well. In spite of whatever limitation one will accuse him of speaking the language, he connects with people the best. And that's what works in democracy.
Correct.
His language is the language of people. He speaks from his heart, which people appreciate. He doesn't have anything to hide. He's so transparent that people love him for what he is.
So even with you, it's like that, right? Because you're a Tamilian by birth. So I would think that when you chose to come to Odisha and work out here, you have a similar kind of a trajectory in the sense that you are not fluent with the language, though you learnt it. But again, you've managed to work out here for so many years now.
So when you come to Odisha only, you are asked to write an exam. You have to clear an exam of 8th standard or something. Then you clear the exam, then you take up posts here in the state. So I think language is not a limitation if you know people and you understand their issues. You solve their issues. People are more concerned about how transparent one is with them and how committed are they to their cause. I think that really works, and that's an inspiration one gets from the Chief Minister as well. But even though I won't agree that he is not so fluent, I'm
talking about when he came to politics.
Oh, that time, yeah.
At that time, he was he was considered somebody not accustomed to living here in Odisha.
Yeah.
He'd come from outside, and he had even his English was anglicized English.
I think he used all those things as his strength.
Yeah.
He was very fresh. He was open to ideas, and he saw everything with an open mind, which is very rare in a political situation. You come with preconceived notions, preconceived ideas. He was fresh in politics. He was he didn't have much experience, so he came with open ideas, open mind. So that also helped him to a great extent.
So when you worked with him, initially, if you remember, even the politicians of Orissa used to say that, he relies more on bureaucracy, not so much on politicians, not even his own party. Wants his work done by the bureaucracy, and he will ignore some of the criticism or some of the ideas that come from his own party workers. So how did bureaucracy respond at that time? The reason I ask is because it's a problem that many chief ministers face, how to balance the needs and aspirations of the political class and how to get things delivered by the bureaucracy. So how did Naveen Babu deal with the bureaucracy?
I think he supports good work, transparent work. He stands behind you. I can give an example of what happened with me when I was a young sub-collector in Dharamgarh in 2003, Kalahandi, 2003-4. I was going all out against rice millers who are doing mischief in ensuring minimum support price. So I was going really hard on them. So all of them joined together and came in 2003 to the state headquarters and met the food and civil supplies minister. That time it used to be a coalition government between BJP and BJD. So the coalition minister, I think he was from BJP. So they came and met. These millers had this idea as to how officers used to get transferred overnight during the Congress regime. So they thought that will happen. They all came. Apparently they all collected some money and came saying that we should get this officer out. So when they met the minister, food and civil supplies, he laughed and said that this is Naveen Patnaik's government. You can't get a officer transferred for doing good work.
Who said this?
The minister told the minister told the rice millers. So straight from here, they all came and met me in my office, night 9 o'clock or something. They came and apologized and said that times have changed. Naveen Patnaik is known for standing behind honest officers. We apologize to you. We will think that business is cyclical. We are going through a tough situation now. So we'll adjust and we'll do good work now.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
So there was no threat at that time. I mean, of course, bureaucrats across the country have that experience where business owners who are used to a certain way of doing it, and if bureaucrats don't do it, like sand mining and those kind of mafias.
Actually, I think the first year of his arrival, the chief minister arrested 4 or 5 super class contractors who were supposedly ruling the state. It sent shockwaves. He sent I think he sacked about half a dozen ministers on corruption. He arrested 3-4 IAS officers on corruption. So the narrative was very clear that if you do good job, honest job, he will stand behind you. So when you asked about how do bureaucrats perform in Naveen Patnaik's regime, it's because of that commitment, that support one gets from him, that he will stand by you. If you have done good job, transparent work, even if you do small mistakes, it's okay. He will manage it for you. But do it for the cause of people. That's what gives you that inner strength to work for the people. And when you asked about,
Oh,
I think,
goodness.
yeah, good woman. I mean, for my first interview, perhaps.
Yeah, the lizard. I thought it's a bird, but I believe it's
I think it's a lizard.
So good omen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to get like 1 million hits for this interview. That means.
So-
yeah. So yes. Go ahead.
So he is very clear about where to draw the line between bureaucracy and the political executive. He knows what has to be done through the political executive, how much you have to respect the political executive, and how much you have to get work done by the administration, the bureaucrats. So he doesn't cross that line.
So this is what you're telling me is about bureaucrats, right? What happens about his own party? Because there have been minor rebellions. And Mr. Pandian, if you see the area around your state, there have been so many rebellions. You know, when you see Jharkhand, when you see Bihar, you see, and you go a little further, you see other states also. You see Madhya Pradesh, and then there have been rebellions within. But somehow it doesn't happen here. In Orissa, there have been minor rebellions, but Naveen Babu seems to have quelled it all along.
I won't even call them as minor rebellions. They are really small, micro, you can say. Basically, ego issues are super confident or overconfident, some people trying some mischief. If the leader is so popular amongst people, if you are going to do a rebellion against him, it's going to finish your political career. And that is the very reason why in Odisha nobody has tried any rebellion. He is so popular. You have to be there to see how people love him. They wait for 4-5 hours just to have a glimpse of him for half a second. What kind of love and affection people have for him.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone dares to do any rebellion.
There was that one incident,
Yes.
remember, when you were with
London.
him you
In
were
London,
abroad,
yeah.
and there was that one. And at that time, there were in Delhi, there were a lot of rumors, at least, that, the toppling will happen and all that. So how was that managed?
Perhaps that was his bad time, Mr. Pyariman Mahaptra's bad time.
He decided to mount it.
Yeah, he decided to mount it. I would say that only, that it was his bad time. He decided to do something like that. The chief minister is so popular. The day we landed back from London, you know the airport, how close it is. It shares a boundary with the chief minister's residence. From the airport to his residence, we took 2.5 hours or 3 hours to reach. That was the kind of crowd, so much of emotions. And he broke all records in the 2014 elections after the coup.
And this was when, in 2012, in
May.
2012,
May.
when there was this talk of this rebellion, and there was, disruption in many states during that time, but
Yes.
here there wasn't.
Yeah, little bit attempt was made, but the kind of people support, I think everyone got scared. Nobody dared to cross the line.
Yeah.
So the chief minister became more powerful after that, I would say.
Right. And so do you think that is the reason why Mr. Modi and Mr. Patnaik get along so well? Because Mr. Modi is also a former chief minister, and he also had this phenomenal support in his own state, in Gujarat. So do you think that that is one of the major reasons why the two of them have a cordial relationship?
I would see from 2-3 angles the relationship between the Honorable Prime Minister and the Chief Minister. I have seen them interact from 2011 onwards. I have been with them. One angle is the respect they have for each other. They respect that people's mandate, that genuine respect which comes when you enjoy the confidence of people. That is the first thing both of them have. If you see both of them meeting for the first time, you will see that as if they are great friends and meeting after a long time. Something like that you will feel. That's the kind of rapport both of them have. The second is their commitment for federalism. Why I am using this word federalism, it was UPA 2, I remember. They were planning to introduce NCTC, National Counter-Terrorism Act or something.
Mr. Chidambaram's dream child.
And then they were giving more powers to RPF, Railway Protection Force, through which they can take action inside a state's territory. All of it were encroaching the state's jurisdiction, domain.
That NCTC was a stillborn. It never happened.
So what happened, those times, all of them used to talk to each other. Mr. Modi, Madam Jayalalitha and Naveen Patnaik. I remember they three decided to walk out of the NDA meeting, NDC, National Development Council meeting, must be 2011-12. All three of them decided we should be the first ones to walk out, opposing this NDC. So all three of them came out and gave statements, and they met in Gujarat Bhavan and in Tamil Nadu Bhavan, like that. So they had that rapport from that time onwards, working for a cause, working for federal principles, keeping larger interest of country in focus.
Right. And do you think that cooperative federalism, in a way, that was redefined in 2014 by the center-state relations that you have experienced and you have seen between Odisha and the central government?
I would say so. To a great extent, a lot of things have been ironed out. including the devolution, even though we say that we have to get more funds, but there has been systemic improvements on that score.
But, many would think that that is the cooperative federalism is what the bureaucracy will say, or because you have your state has good relations with the center, that's why. But the detractors will say it's a fixed match between BJP and BJD. I'm asking you because now you're BJD. You are not just a bureaucrat.
No, when BJD is not convinced about something, BJD has not gone ahead with BJP. I'll give you two examples. One is the farmers' bill. We didn't support. BJD did not support. Farmers' bill was withdrawn. The second one was NRC. Our chief minister made it very clear it's not good for the country. So there are instances where the chief minister or the BJD has not supported the center in issues which concerns the nation, and when BJD or the chief minister is convinced about it, they have supported.
So how does it work? Because when it comes to voting, your party consistently votes with the BJP. But on issues, there are times when it doesn't work. But in spite of that, there seems to be, in other states, one hears about double engine sarkar. Here, it's not double engine sarkar. It's not a BJP government, but somehow your state seems to be accruing the benefits of being a double engine sarkar.
I think our chief minister believes in not doing politics when elections are not around. He believes strongly in work. He says that I am in this job to work for the people. Whatever will help the state, whatever will help the people of the state, he will take that decision at that point of time. He is very clear in his approach.
Let me come back to you. Otherwise, we are talking about the state and Naveen Babu all the time, but I want to come back to you. You've been a bureaucrat for several years, and you had the confidence, and you have continued to have the confidence of the most powerful man in the state. Why did you decide to leave the bureaucracy and join the party?
Okay. I decided because I was inspired by the chief minister, the way he was into public service. And it was not a grand plan or something for me to enter. I would say that 1 year back, if you had asked me, are you going to join politics? I would have firmly said a no. And if somebody my batchmates will laugh if they know that I have resigned and I have joined a party because it was not in my plan at all. 1 year, 8-9 months back, I started touring the districts. And I saw the love and affection of people. It was very humbling. I thought that I should not be bound by bureaucratic rules in reaching out to the people. And that is the only reason why I resigned and joined, inspired by the chief minister. But I had no plans whatsoever to join politics. No plans.
Over 10 years, you've been touring the state with the chief minister, right? So how was this tour different from the earlier tours?
So this time I toured on my own. I have always traveled with the chief minister. This time I traveled on my own to all 30 districts, 146, 47 constituencies. We took this exercise because after COVID, the footfall in the chief minister's grievance cell had reduced. We had closed the grievance cell for 2 years. The chief minister's grievance cell.
Okay, why?
Because COVID. So
okay.
those times we closed, and after that it never picked up. People had stopped coming, very less footfall in the grievance cell. So the chief minister decided that why don't we reach out? This is the first time in a state, in any state, the chief minister office went and did grievance in a decentralized manner in constituencies, in blocks. So with that, when I went there, and I committed to people that your problem, this problem will be solved in 10 days, this problem will be solved in 15 days, this problem will be solved in 1 month. And the system rose to that occasion, and with Honorable Chief Minister's guidance, whatever timelines we had set, it was all being met. It was completely magical. We had thousands of petitions, all transparent way it has been disposed of. So when I went to the people, when I met them, I realized that there is a strong connect with people. And I thought, being a bureaucrat, I won't be able to reach out to them. I have to get out of bureaucracy. It was an inner call.
Was it when did you tell Naveen Babu this, and was it the first time that this conversation happened between you and Naveen Babu, where you said you want to join the party?
He also saw the videos and other things of people's interaction and everything. So then both of us discussed, and yes, perhaps I should join, and maybe I'll be of little help to him, whatever way I could be.
So he didn't suggest to you before that become part of the party? And
So
things?
we never had a chance to have any discussion like that. I was very clear in what I was doing. I had no plans whatsoever.
So which is what, like implementing what he tells you to do? Is that what you were doing?
Implementing what he tells to do, and also doing value addition. Implementation anyone can do.
Okay.
You have to add value. You should have the guts to say, sir, this may not work out. And he gave that freedom. He gave that confidence. At any time, if you think something what he is doing may not be helpful to the people or may lead to corruption, he gave the confidence to say, sir, this may not work well. It may not go well. Fine. He will ask me the reasons. We'll say. So I have been part of major decisions of the state. Whatever value addition you can do with a clear heart, keeping only people in mind, because I know his mind. He is for the people. And so it's easy to work. You will know from 360 degree, you will have some grassroots idea to tell. So,
But it's like, powerful bureaucrats, like if I was to say, like say Mr. Brijesh Mishra with Atal Bihari Vajpayee, they become like gatekeepers to their boss. So many politicians don't like it because you can't get closer to the boss, you can't talk. So like say a number 2 or a number 3 of a political party then says that, oh, I have to go through this guy, and he becomes the person who will interpret everything. So, usually powerful bureaucrats have that issue with the party. There's a lot of jealousy also involved. So how are you going to keep that, now that you're part of the party, now you have to gel with the party people also, isn't it?
yeah.
So how does that work? How will you have that
I think
HR problem
I think
resolved?
I have been working for more than a decade with BJD, because you know that Chief Minister's office is a political office. So you interact with MLAs, MPs, Panchayat Raj institutions on a daily basis. Whatever is their issues, they come to the Chief Minister. He gives it to you for sorting out, coordinate with people. So we have a great rapport with, I don't think that's an issue at all. I've been working with them, so should not be a problem.
But you were like the unstated thing. You didn't have a post as such, but everybody knew that all departments come under you.
No, if you take the Prime Minister's office, the Principal Secretary to Prime Minister reviews all departments. It's the mandate which the Prime Minister gives. Right. It's the same in the Chief Minister's office. I am not working as an officer there. I am working on the directions of the Chief Minister. In Chief Minister office, all departments are under the Chief Minister. Every cabinet note comes to the Chief Minister office for approval. Every policy decision comes. Every posting which has of significance, whether it is All India Service or Class 1 officers, it comes to the Chief Minister. So Chief Minister has control over all the departments, and that's how accountability is fixed in democracy.
Correct.
So you are there to help him, aid him. So there is nothing like who is junior, who is senior, or no. You are representing the Chief Minister in getting things done. That's it.
Yeah. So there's Principal Secretary and there's Cabinet Secretary, right? So like when I spoke about Brijesh ji and Atal ji, that is one. But Brijesh ji never did politics as such. He was like a coordinator with the bureaucracy and with the cabinet. Then there is also R.K. Dhawan and Indira Gandhi, if you realize.
Yeah.
And R.K. Dhawan had to do the job of managing politics, quelling rebellions, and especially when there were very, very strong, political machinations that needed to be done. That Dharam Sankat, did you have at any point of time?
No, I think Naveen Babu was so good at managing everything. You are just a witness many times.
Okay.
You are just a witness many times. But whenever it is within the sphere of my work, I'll happily contribute, always. And he is the boss. He is the Chief Minister of the state. He enjoys the confidence. You have to run that extra mile always for him.
So jumping from the Indian Administrative Service to a political career, that's always a big decision to take for any bureaucrat. And especially now, after the films have come out about how difficult it is to take the UPSC exam and all that. Your wife is also a bureaucrat. What was the conversation at home before you decided to join politics?
I think I got always support from my family, my mother, my brother, everyone. Nobody had any issue with it because they know that I have that clarity in my mind, what I want to do. So I just told everyone that I think people have so much of love and affection. I should not be bound by bureaucracy now. I should move little. I should have little more freedom. And I must confess, even though I was a bureaucrat, I was always a little bit of an activist. I had that streak in me always. Whether it is corruption, whether it is working for the people, you take if you take my career as a whole, whether it is Dharamgad as sub-collector when I worked for the farmers, I faced threats, I faced every possible situation. But I had that great satisfaction that I could ensure minimum support price for farmers at that point of time. And I put a system in place which was adopted. Then I went to Rourkela as additional district magistrate. I was heading a agency called the Rourkela Development Agency, which was bankrupt. I had only 7 months tenure there. Retired people had invested their lifetime savings in Rourkela Development Authority, thinking that they will all get houses. 20 years they have been waiting. Many of them are dead. But Rourkela Development Authority could neither repay nor give them houses. I had 8 months time. I took it as a challenge that I'll return back all the money to them. I could do it without interest. I went all out. Closed, we all know about the Supreme Court orders on closing commercial establishments in houses, domestic houses. That happened 10 years later than when I did in 2004-05. Closed all the residential premises having commercial establishments. So in 2 months, the Rourkela Development Authority, which was bleeding, had got a 15 crore surplus. And in 5th month, we could pay back all the money to all those people, retired employees, people who have invested their lifetime cost savings.
Who must have given up anyway, right?
Given up all hope. And I stayed for only 8 months. I'm just giving you that examples. Little bit of activism was always there. Then I went to Mayurbhanj, the largest district of the country. One of the largest districts of the country, where you have this beautiful Simlipal. I was one of the youngest collectors there. In fact, when I joined there, one political leader came to meet me on a Sunday. So he mistook, when I met him, he asked, he smiled, and I met him in my residence office. I was wearing shorts and a t-shirt, met him. So he asked, "Where is your dad?" I said, "He is back home." "Oh, when is he coming back?" I couldn't get it. He may come anytime, he may come after 6 months. Then I realized that he confused my father for the collector, and I said, no, I am the collector here.
Okay.
So in Mayurbhanj, this is a tribal district, I realized that disabled people, because it's a very large district, differently abled people, persons with disability, or I call them a differently abled people, they were not getting certificates. For a differently abled person, he has to get that is the passport. And for that, he has to go to 5 offices, to 5 different government offices, you can imagine, for a differently abled person to go to Tahsil office, to go to RTO office, to go to collector office, to go to block office, 5-6 offices he has to go to get his basic thing of a differently abled certificate. And then he has to go to the chief district medical officer office to get the certificate. He has to go in a queue. The board sits. If there are 500 people who have come or 100 people who have come, that day the board may take up only 20 people or 30 people. So the differently abled person has to come often, again and again, to get a certificate. It was a very painful process. So I took up this as a challenge, and we had decentralized single window camps throughout the state. A district which was giving 700 certificates in a year, we issued 19,000 certificates in 1 year through this system. And all 100% differently able who were identified were all rehabilitated with aids, appliances, corrective surgery. And for that, Mayurbhanj district got the first best district in rehabilitation of disabled.
Okay.
Then NREGS was introduced at that point of time. I introduced bank payment system. So I'm giving every example to show that little bit of an activist was always there. In fact, when I was doing this single window system, the doctors were not very supportive in the first instance. Nobody was supportive
Why?
because they have to move to different places, and it is a very transparent process. Transparency hits sometime.
Correct. Yes.
So the system was not very adaptive at that point of time, but later on the doctors had so much of satisfaction. They all came and praised it, sir. We never thought that this will work. Doctors, bureaucrats, officers, none of them believed that this can work actually. So, but it was pushed and we delivered. I got Helen Keller Award for this. Generally, it is given to activists. It's
Yes,
generally
for
given to activists.
bureaucrats,
Yeah,
yes.
it's very rare for a bureaucrat to get Helen Keller Award for
Yeah.
working for the differently able.
For differently abled. So you have the ability, and I think you take it up as a challenge to ruffle feathers if need be.
No, I take the team along.
You
I
take
take
a
the team along, but I'm very firm when I decide something to be done. I went to Ganjam district after that. Just one more example.
That's South Odisha.
Yeah,
no?
South Odisha. That used to be that is the chief minister's district as well.
Constituency,
Yeah.
yes. Huh.
So NREGS was introduced. National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. UPA had introduced NREGS. So at that point of time, there was no need for payments to be made in through bank. But that is where corruption was all happening. If you don't make bank payments of wages, leakages happen. You have to get the muster roll. You can manipulate the muster roll. You show 100 rupees, but you pay only 50 rupees or 60 rupees. So I decided that we will go ahead with bank payments. First of all, there was no concept of this opening mass bank accounts at that point of time. Now you have the Jan Dhan and all those schemes to open bank accounts. That time banks were also not ready to open zero balance accounts.
Yeah.
It was not a policy.
Yeah, correct.
So, but somehow we convinced the banks. We opened about 1,20,000 bank accounts, zero bank accounts, when there was no policy.
Okay.
And many of our people's representatives went to the chief minister and said that this boy is little theoretical. He wants to pay all the bank wages through, wages through banks.
Bank account. Huh.
Which is not being done throughout the country. Why he is interested? It will boomerang on us. This was just before the 2009 elections. So they told him, why don't you convince him or why don't you counsel him and say that after elections, why don't you experiment this? Don't do this now. It's not going to help
Because
us.
pilferage helps many people, right?
Or one way is that, and second is that maybe
Help
you
in
are.
the sense, I want to put it in quotes. Help, if you know what I mean.
Or one more way is that you don't know how it is going to roll out. It may actually anger the people to go to banks, collect money. Both are same. Both are
Yeah.
equally true.
Yeah.
So you stop the pilferage. So they all went and the people's representatives went and suggested that why don't we implement this great idea after 2009 elections. So the chief minister called me and asked me, Mr. Pandian, is it practicable? Will you be able to get it done? I told, sir, my plan is to pay at least 100 crores through bank accounts to the people. You will see the impact, sir. Don't worry about political fallout. People will support. Trust me. He trusted me.
Okay.
And BJD, which was not getting all the seats in Ganjam, they will lose 2, 3, 1 like that. They got all the seats. People were so happy. The district and I was felicitated for being the best district in the country for NREGS. I think Mr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister. He awarded. And they took me in the task force of NREGS in the central level. And one of the strong suggestions and case study which was given was from Ganjam. That if Ganjam district can pay 100 crore rupees in 6 months as wages through banks, when there was no policy to pay through banks, then they implemented in 200 districts bank payment. That's how the bank payment in NREGS started. So why I gave all these examples is, there is a chief minister who appreciated all these pro-people initiatives.
Yeah.
And
that's
he
true.
appreciated the activist inside me as well.
Yeah, because for a bureaucrat, it's almost impossible to do these kind of reformative changes without a political support, right?
I think so. And in fact, many of my batchmates or many colleagues in IAS, they have all done well whenever there is a support like this. When you have a supporting chief minister, supportive political leader who is happy to take risk for the sake of people,
Yeah.
then things change.
Okay. Please tell me a little bit about the Jagannath temple corridor, because that is also a huge task that was undertaken, and I believe that some very reformative changes have taken place for devotees who go to the temple, and it's the beating heart of Odisha. It is something that signifies so much for people of the state. But before that, a short primer for viewers and listeners who may not know much about the Jagannath Puri temple. The Jagannath temple is a 10th century temple in Puri dedicated to the form of Vishnu. Puri is one of the 4 sacred sites or dhams of Hinduism, Badrinath, Dwarka and Rameshwaram being the other 3. For generations of Udiyas who could not do the parikrama or the circumambulation around the temple because of congestion and encroachment, this is a wonderful opportunity. A huge and ambitious project costing about 800 crore rupees. This was completed in January 2024. It's been made possible for devotees now to have darshan around the magnificent temple with a wide corridor and a visual connect from all directions for the pilgrims. And about 50,000 devotees visit the temple every day. So I'll come back to you and ask you as to how did you do this corridor, how was it built, and what were the challenges that you faced while building this? Because in addition to what you were talking about the district, the changes that you brought, this is something that has potential to make the Jagannath temple not just something special for the people of the state and for Eastern India, but for everybody around the country.
It was sometime in 2018. I was traveling with the Chief Minister to Puri. I think New Year's time. He goes to Puri on New Year's Day. I was sitting behind him in his car. When we were traveling to Puri, first I saw in one hoarding of Lord Jagannath, he was closing his eyes and prayed. I missed it. After that, I thought, okay, maybe he saw Lord Jagannath in road for the first time in the hoarding. He prayed. Then after that, in another 1 kilometer, there was one more hoarding and he closed his eyes and prayed. And then I saw that entire road of 50 kilometers, wherever he saw Lord Jagannath's photo in the hoarding, he closed his eyes and prayed. That gave me the courage to ask him. And I always knew that he is a big bhakta of Lord Jagannath. So that gave me the courage to ask him, you are such a big bhakta of Lord Jagannath, sir. You want to do something for the temple. So he said, I would be very happy if we clean up this place. This is how it all started with in 2018.
Because of his personal commitment.
Absolutely.
And you reading that.
I reading that, and I go to Lord Jagannath temple every Saturday, and I have seen how much people want changes to happen in the surrounding. They wanted to do parikrama, they couldn't do parikrama because the main road is the road in which they have to do parikrama.
And it's congested there. It was.
It's a thoroughfare. It's the main road of the Puri town. So you can't do parikrama. Coming to the Honorable Chief Minister, so when we discussed, so we called the then MP and MLA of Puri and said that, I only discussed with them, boss thinks like that. He wants to do something like this. He wants to clean up 75 meters all surrounding the temple. 75 meters was suggested by a judicial commission that for the safety and security of the temple, you have to clean up 75 meters from the temple, all sides. So the MP and MLA put their hand in their head and sat down and said that, I don't think it's a good idea. Taking 10 meters itself is a mammoth task. Nobody has attempted. I think please tell Honorable CM it's not possible. I said, no, he has decided that we'll go ahead with this. He just wanted to tell you and take you into confidence. He said, the Honorable MLA, he said that I think we may lose. Honorable CM had told at that time only that if you lose, it's okay. If I lose also, it's okay. I want this thing to be done. That was the conviction he had, the courage of conviction he had in doing this project. In fact, one very, very important person, when we told about this plan, he told that 500 years nobody has done it. The last time temple ka something major happened 500 years back. And there were English collectors, there were Rajas, Maharajas, British collectors who wanted to do something, they couldn't do. And there were two chief ministers before you who tried to do this. One is your father, and another one was J.B. Patnaik. Both of them also tried. Genuinely, they tried. And both of them stopped after some time because of various reasons. So, are you sure that because of the risk, political risk involved in this project, are you sure you want to do? The chief minister was very clear and he said, I am in my 5th term. I want to do this for the people of Odisha. They have reposed so much